What is this, man? 3 videos in, you got a film crew?
Yeah, bro.
What's going on? What's going on?
Sorry, I'm the new cameraman.
Cameraman, camerawoman.
Yeah, I'm pretty shaky, so.
What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, man. Today we are going to be picking back up on the S10. Shut these fans off so you can hear me. Spent the weekend getting some things done around the house, and now Monday picking right back up on this damn truck. So kind of switching gears though. I'm going to be doing a little bit of work on the cab and hopefully the front end if we get to it. If I'm being honest, I don't know how far I'm going to get today. I'm just gonna start sanding shit and getting things ready for primer. I would like to get the front suspension torn apart at least. If you guys remember, we were supposed to start on the front suspension today, but I actually have a few things for it coming in the mail, so I'm waiting for them to be delivered. So this stuff is gonna kind of be on hold for the time being, but if we get to it, we'll at least get this stuff torn down today. All right, so I want to kind of get this done quick, dude. So all these areas that are smooth and they're just like, there's no dents. Obviously, there's a couple little dents and stuff here and there that we gotta take care of. There's one here. I found another one somewhere, one up here. I'm gonna of course go over it and make sure that I find all that little stuff. But for the most part, the whole cab of this thing is all good and smooth. So I'm just going to kind of lightly sand it so that the primer will bond with it. I don't want to get all crazy and sand this thing all the way down to metal like we've been doing with other things, man. This will turn into freaking a whole week-long project. Dude, I gotta tell you, I love this little sander, man. It's nice being able to use something like this and not have to worry about that damn compressor turning on all the time. Let me rephrase that. That damn loud ass compressor turning on all the time. Gives me a headache, bro. What can I say? Anyhow, basically just going through and buzzing all this down. Like I said, I just want to give it a light sand, so that's all I'm looking for. I've got 150 grit on here, so it's not super aggressive, but it's giving it enough of a scuff that our primer is gonna be able to grab. Now I need to come back and actually sand all inside of like the little areas that sander can't reach. I'm gonna do all this stuff by hand. Inside of the little window seam and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to get all that by hand. Get some 120. You know what? I'll use this. 220. That'll work. Grab myself a little piece off of there. Alright, so I've found all the little dings and stuff inside of the cab, and I've went through and I buzzed them all down to bare metal like you guys seen, and I hit them all with a thin layer of Bondo. Some of them not so thin, but I'm gonna knock all that down, believe me. I always feel weird showing Bondo on camera, man, because like I honestly suck at doing Bondo. Like all this stuff, like this is all literally tiny little dings, bro. But what I do, because I really like to get it all in one shot, I hate smearing Bondo, sanding it smooth, and then having to go back and put another layer. I like to get it all in one shot, you know what I'm saying? So I tend to kind of put it on a little thick. You know, I'll make a pass and I kind of push it into the metal really hard, because you want to do that so it actually binds with all the scratches you put in there from sanding it. And then I'll come back and I just do like as thick of a layer over it as I can, because I know I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna sand all that down smooth. So I like, whenever I'm done sanding, to not still have a low spot somewhere. So I tend to put Bondo on a little bit thick. But throw it down in the comments if that's similar to your technique. If you're a body guy, you guys got to remember, I've never been a body guy. I have literally learned all this kind of stuff just from doing it for myself. But anyhow, working on getting all this stuff sanded down, I just realized I literally have no high build primer. So my next step after this, I always like to come back and hit it with a high build primer. It's kind of, to me, I call that like a liquid Bondo. So then you are building another layer up that you're able to bring it down. So as you build the layer up, you come back, you sand it, you're able to bring it down smooth, and then you end up with a nice smooth surface. So, but yeah, like I was saying, I'm completely out of high build primer, so I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot today other than just get it all ready for primer. Currently Sunday. Tomorrow, Old School will be open. I can run down and go and get some. Alright, I'm moving on. I want to get all of this old glue and stuff out of this window jamb where the windshield was glued in before. The thing is, whenever I put another windshield back in here, I plan on not running one of those rubber seal things going around. I just want it to be glass. So I forget what it's called. I think it's called like a flush windshield or something. Normally you would order like a custom oversized windshield, but I'm not going to go to that extent. So there may be a little bit of a gap. But the thing that Dustin was telling me, whenever I have the person install the windshield, I need to let them know that there's like a thick, like, tar or tape or something that goes in here that actually brings the windshield up a little bit. So then this area right here doesn't dip down to the windshield. You want the windshield to be flush. Actually, I think that's what it's called, a flush windshield. So you want the windshield to be flush. It's kind of like the style of newer cars. So then it'll just give it a little bit of a cleaner look. I won't have to worry about having that little rubber trim going around. And if there is, like, I don't know, like a little gap in between there, it's no big deal. But I do want to get all this old glue and stuff out of here. I'm going to try with this. If this doesn't do it, then I'm going to go and get a wire wheel on my grinder and then just go to town with that. So I've got most of these large surfaces in here on this door jamb. I'm trying to sand through all this because there's like spray paint. Like somebody spray painted the inside of the truck was all spray painted, and this door jamb was all spray painted like this gray color. Luckily, the passenger side didn't have any spray paint. This is still factory paint. It's always so much easier to like prep factory paint and get it ready to spray over than it is to like get somebody else's paint job, whether it's a paint job or a poorly done paint job or spray paint. That makes it so much more difficult to get things prepped, because the spray paint it's not sanding smooth, it's gumming up, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying as hard as I can to get through it. See, where I'm struggling is like with my OCD, bro. Like stuff like this just drives me nuts. Where most people would just sand and just completely like ignore these kind of things, but I want all that to be smooth too. And like look where this seam sealer in here is. The seam sealer is all cracked and shit. So dude, I'm gonna want to take that grinder and come in here and get all that all the way down the metal, because that freaking crack is gonna drive me nuts. It's just little stuff like that that ends up adding hours and hours onto prepping stuff. So anyhow, my goal right now is to get this door jamb done, and I want to get that door jamb over there done. And then I want to get the entire interior scuffed up. I'm not going to get all crazy with the interior of this, because pretty much every single bit of this is all getting covered back up. My goal for this is to be a full interior truck. Like, you know, I obviously want seats and door panels, and I have a brand new rubber mat to put down, stuff like that. So a lot of that in there you're not going to see. So I just want to get it scuffed up well enough that the paint is gonna stick to it. I also need to go through and get all this little stuff off, like all this random shit like that, this little rubber nipple, this clip. I gotta go through and find all that kind of little stuff before we start priming to make sure I get all that off. Like there's a flap inside of there. None of that's gonna be used again. Take these screws out. Well, I need to go through this floorboard and just wire brush it, bro, and get all this dirt and everything out of here. I'm trying to sand, but there's just so much like caked up dirt and stuff in here like this, you know? Got to get all that out and then just use my air compressor and just blow all the dust out. Now, the only thing that this cab has that is like, what the hell is this right here? So I guess, I don't know what happened. Whether this post right here where the seat mounts, you see, this is where the bench seat mounts, is it has like studs sticking up. So I think this one broke or maybe rusted and went through. So this piece, this bolt sticking up or stud, this went all the way through to the frame. Like it was going through the frame and then through the floorboard of this, and then it was welded to the frame and welded to the floorboard. It made it a freaking pain in the ass to get this damn cab off of the frame. So anyhow, yeah, they like put like a replacement piece of metal in here and then did some very beautiful welds on it. But I mean it's freaking solid, you know what I'm saying? And it's whatever. I'm just gonna leave it. Just primer over it with the rest of the truck. As far as seats in this thing, I do plan on putting like some bucket seats or something in it. I would really like to keep the bench seat, dude. I think the bench seat is cool, but for where we're going with this thing, like, I think it's gonna be a lot safer for me to put a bucket seat in here with a harness and stuff. So just so you know, the plan is to cage this. I don't know when or where along the lines the budget is going to allow for a cage, you know what I'm saying? We'll see. We'll get there eventually, you know what I'm saying? Anyhow, guys, I mentioned earlier it's getting really late. So, because I am trying to keep up on daily uploads, it really is a pain in the ass sometimes. So, unfortunately, I need to end this video here pretty soon. And something in me is telling me, once I get in there and edit, that this is going to be a really short video. But yeah, dude, this is another one of those things, like the frame. Like, I've literally spent all day just sanding and prepping and, you know, getting shit. Like, dude, this window jamb, getting all that crap out of there took me a couple of hours. Like, every step on this thing has taken me a couple of hours. But all this shit's got to come up. I'd really like to get this to the point that it is ready for primer. So that's my goal for tonight. I know I've said it already, but so first thing in the morning, I'm gonna hit the road and I'm gonna go to Old School and grab some high build primer. Yeah, I have to do a coat of high build over the areas where I did body work. And I have to do a heavy coat of high build. It's gonna end up taking 24 hours just to dry. So the painting process, I swear, it takes forever. Anyhow, guys, I'm gonna continue on with this, getting this thing prepped and ready. I'm gonna go ahead and call the video here. I'll see you guys first thing in the morning for me, but in tomorrow's video, we're gonna go pick up the primer so we can start spraying that thing and hopefully get something done on this. It's funny, I planned on getting that and this done today, but that just goes to show this stuff takes time. Later.